I will actually share my screen, and let's get it from there. Let me know when you can see it, because when we tested it, it took a while.
It's good.
But it's good. Great, great. So happy to be here, and good afternoon or good morning to all of you, depending on where you're from, actually. So my name is Merja Sjöblom, and as Minna said, I come from Tieke, which is a Finnish Information Society Development Center, and I work here as an accelerator of digital skills, and I have been working with digital skills like 25 years and still counting, and it's an interesting field to work at, because as we all know, digitalization changes all the time and we need to learn new things, and I think it's very interesting area to work with. And open badges are also a great part of our job, because it's very important to recognize skills that people have. And today I will be telling you about our National Open Badge Constellation for Digital Skills. But first, a couple of words about Tieke. So Tieke is a promoter of digital skills, also a promoter of digital networking and interoperability. And we act as an influencer, networker, and also a pace setter in promoting digital skills. And when we concentrate on digital skills, I have listed here a few things that we do. We have some products and services that we offer, like examinations. If some of you know, they are based on Finnish examinations. So we at Tieke sold them to Ireland a long time ago, but the origin was based here in Finland. Then we offer also a web-based tool for measuring digital competencies, and we call it Tiviittori in Finnish. And of course, as said, we promote open badges. We also arrange different kinds of events for different organizations, schools, educators, and also decision makers, so that they know what things should be done in concerning digital skills. And then, of course, we are a networking company, so we have quite wide networks, and we do also different kinds of surveys and then projects. And on the right side here, you can see our ongoing projects that concern digital skills. There are several of them, and then recent projects that have just ended, and all the results are also available in our website. And to do all of this, we have 11 people working at Tieke. So that already tells everybody that we are a network organization. We couldn't do all of this without our great networks. So that's shortly about Tieke. And then when we go to the competitive skills, National Open Badge Constellations, I will tell you about the project. And as I said, we have been working with this project with a great team of experts. And here on the left, you can see our actual project team, 11 partners, 2 universities of applied sciences, one from Oulu and one from Hämeenlinna. Oulu is the coordinator for the whole project. Then we have vocational education and training organizations. As you can see, 6 of them, so organizations around Finland. And then we have 1 non-formal adult education participant in our project, and 2 associations, Tieke as one of them, and Suomen e-oppimiskeskus as another one. Suomen e-oppimiskeskus promotes e-learning also in various ways and in different projects. So with this incredible expert team, we have been working quite a long time with this project. And we also have other partners that I have listed here on the right side. We have done close cooperation with the Finnish National Agency for Education, which is very important. That way, our criteria matches the agency's criteria for example, for vocational education. And we also have as a partner the Digital and Population Data Services Agency in Finland. And they have been, for example, piloting our open badges, and they have been promoting them, and they are using our open badges when they are taking care of national digital support people's skills. And also we have several non-formal adult education organizations that are working with us as well. So we have a great team, the actual project team, and then of course the network around it, so that this is really an important national project that we have been working on. And our aim, when we started already in August 2019, our aim was to develop a nationwide open badge constellation, which enables the verification of adults' problem-solving skills in technology-rich environments. And our target group was designed to be teachers and students, especially in vocational education, also in vocational adult education and non-formal adult education. And of course, also people in working life and trying to learn new things while they are working. And we have been doing this for the last 2.5 years. So now we have 1 month for the project time left, and lots of things to do still, but the project results will stay alive, and I will tell you about that in a bit as well. But when we go forward, the aim of our open badge constellation was to offer a comparable, also transparent and equal way to evaluate, recognize and ensure basic digital skills. Whether you are in education or you are working or you are moving from one education to another, you need these skills, and it's important that they are recognized. Our aim was also to provide requirement framework for basic digital competencies to education, work and society. And also we wanted to offer an explicit open badge constellation to inspire and motivate individuals to assess and develop their digital skills. And of course, when we started this work, we went through several different frameworks on digital skills, and our open badge constellation, is of course based on these different frameworks, so that the scale is correct, whether you are looking at it from national or international point of view. And then when we actually go on to the actual open badge constellation, here you can see our first version, competitive skills version 0.2. And when we started the project, we built a constellation that consisted of 10 open badges and 5 milestone badges. And the blue ones in the picture are the lowest badges: choosing and using devices, secure action, searching and evaluating information, and communication and services. 4 badges. And after taking all those 4 badges, you could earn a milestone badge, basic skills. And then when you move on, you would take using and managing applications and providing content and copyright badges. And if you also receive those, then you got milestone badge for digital skills. And so on, 5 levels: collaborator, utilizer, and the highest level convergent thinker. And as you can see in the picture, I also have these grades after the milestone badges: satisfactory, good, and excellent. And those are for the vocational education. So the vocational students, when they use these badges, they can also be used to grading them. And with this structure, we piloted the open badges, and we got feedback, which of course led to developing and renewing the badges. And this took time from September 2020 all the way till May 21. And we got a lot of feedback. Basically, the feedback was very positive. The open badges were seen as excellent tool to helping educational organizations, but of course, there were some justifications that needed to be done. So we created the new version. Oops, sorry. I wasn't going to go all the way to the end. Let's move back here. Sorry. So we developed the version 0.3. And as you can see from the picture, our open badges changed both, of course, with their contents and with their levels. It seemed to be very important that on the basic skills level, we needed to have more things to learn and more things to evaluate. So choosing and using devices, searching and evaluating information, secure action, and communication and services, they existed already on the previous version. But responsible action, which was basically a new open badge, and we moved using and managing applications from higher levels to the basic level. And when these 6 badges are taken, then the person earns the milestone badge basic skills. And then moving on with these open badges, the second level contains Digital Me open badge. And if you earn that and you have the basic skills milestone badge, then you get the digital skills milestone badge. And again, you go on from that all the way to the convergent thinker. And still you can see the grades from satisfactory to excellent, and the vocational education can use them when grading students. Pilots for this version started in May this year, and they are still ongoing. And now by the end of November, we are expecting to get feedback. And then in December, we do the final changes and developments to this badge constellation. We already now have received very positive comments, and actually we have also gained new organizations who want to teach and use these open badges. So it seems that we are actually gaining what we wanted to make a national open badge constellation work. And Don already asked there in the chat with this T1, H3, K5. So they are exactly the vocational education framework and grades. So yes. If we look deeper into these badges, I have here the basic level 6 badges described. And here in the table, the recipient of the badge I show you the criteria for each of these open badges. And then all of these badges are used so that you have an application with which you show your skills. And the application consists of the things that are listed here. So when a person starts taking these open badges, he starts from this choosing and using devices, which is very basic level. The person needs to be able to select a good device, whether it's a computer, a smartphone, iPad, or anything else. And he or she should be able to start it, connect it to the internet, and be able to change basic functions and basic settings. So we start really from the beginning. You choose the device, you can start it, you can get to the internet, and you can use the basic functions. And our application form consists of multiple choices and then also other tasks. And multiple choices in this batch are, for example, about starting devices, how to connect to the network, and how to update your device. And then you have to be able to explain purposes to use different devices. For example, why or when is it easier to use smartphone rather than a computer, and vice versa. And then when we go on to searching and evaluating information, you can see that the criteria tells that the recipient of that batch can search for information in digital environments, search for information in different formats, whether it needs to be search text or image or videos, and evaluate the reliability of digital content, and of course recognize copyrights, which is very important. And in the application, we have multiple choices on copyrights and reliable data and reliable sites. And then the applicant needs to be able to search for information and show it in the application, and he has to add images to the application as well. In secure action, the recipient of the batch can identify the most common cyber threats and information security threats, very important these days, as we know, to protect their devices and recognize when information security has been violated and can accordingly act. And again, the application has multiple choice questions. And then in this open batch application, the applicant needs to write a password phrase that is difficult enough to use securely. And the fourth one is responsible action. And as you can see, the recipient of the batch can recognize how to use digital devices and applications, and also see their impacts on health and well-being. Use messaging services and social media in responsible manner. Take copyrights into account and create and edit digital content. And in this batch, it's especially presentation graphics. And again, the application consists of multiple choices, and as an other task, there is the task to provide a slideshow where the applicant considers digital well-being from different points of view. And the fifth one, communication and services. The applicant can recognize their rights and responsibilities when disclosing their information to electronic services. Of course, use electronic services, recognize strong identification, protect personal information and personal privacy, and recognize and comply with principles of data protection, and use email and its basic features. And again, in the application, multiple choice questions. And as another task, the applicant has to write an email message, add an attachment to it, and then take a picture of it and add the picture to the application, because it's impossible to send all those actual emails to someone to evaluate them. And the last but not least one of the basic skill batches is using and managing applications, where the recipient can select and use WordPress and spreadsheet applications, identify different file formats, produce standard text documents, create spreadsheets and use formulas to perform calculations and process and transfer data in different formats. And again, in the application, there are multiple choice questions, and then the applicant has to create a Word document. There are instructions on what kind of document it needs to be, and also to create a spreadsheet, to add some data in it, to make some formats, and then do a little bit of calculation. And as said before, when all these 6 badges are earned, then the milestone badge basic skills is earned. So this is where the applicant starts. I'm reading Don's question here. Do you have ways of balancing out it? Yeah, I will talk about the learners amount a little bit later, because we have quite several of them, as you will see. After the basic level, when we go to the next 4 levels from digital skills or all the way to convergent thinker, the process goes so that when you have earned the basic skills milestone badge, then you need to take the digital MES badge, and when you have both of them, you earn digital skills milestone badge. And again, when you have that milestone badge, and you will take collaboration badge, and when you have both of them, you earn the collaborators milestone badge, and so on. So of course, the final destination, hopefully for as many students as possible, is the convergent thinker milestone badge, because that of course concludes the whole basic skills constellation, and is a excellent proof for the applicants' digital skills. So this is how our constellation works through badges. And like I already said, all badges are issued via badge applications, and I have secure action. So of course, in the application, the person sees the criteria, what he or she needs to be able to do. And then in the application form, this is only part of the application form, you see the multiple choice questions. We also always give a hint on how many correct options there should be found. And so we are not trying to make it too difficult for the applicants. And then there is the other tasks. In this case, the strong password phrase needs to be created. I have also another badge application here. It's on responsible action. And again, of course, the applicant sees the criteria and other descriptions. And also in this application, you have multiple choice questions. Again, this is only part of the application form. And then in this application, you need to create a slideshow on digital well-being. And then there are instructions on what the slideshow should contain. And probably you see it as very small, but it's quite detailed instructions, because then it's also easy to evaluate when we get to that. So each badge has an application, and via application, the skills are then, of course, shown and then evaluated. Here I have the number of accepted badges that has been performed during our project by the end of October. The version 0.2, where we started from, more than 2,000 badges altogether was granted, 1,899 basic badges and more than 600 milestone badges. And here you can see the blue ones were the basic level, and then going up from there. And as expected, the basic batches were performed pretty similarly, and then when we go up to the higher levels, the amounts would go down, so not all the students can reach the level 5, which is of course natural. And now that we are piloting the version 0.3, and the pilots are still ongoing, by the end of October, more than 1,900 basic batches were granted and nearly 300 milestone batches. And now during November, I know that these numbers have increased quite a lot, but I will do the next report in December so that we can get the final numbers. But here you can also see that the basic level, the 6 batches, they are quite well, not exactly the same numbers for each batch, but anyway, the number of granted batches is a lot higher than on the higher levels, as you can see. But still, these numbers will change, and this graphic will change also when we get the rest of the reports clear. But we let the organizations do their piloting, and then we will update the reports. But the numbers are great because we have now more than 4,000 batches granted during this project, which is very much actually, and we are very happy with these numbers, and the piloting results that we get and the feedback, they of course help us when we are developing the batch constellation. But then when we are talking about the organizations who actually offer training and take the batch applications and evaluate them, in order to have a nationally unanimous batch constellation, we offer training for the trainers. So teachers and other educators can improve their understanding on open batches in generally, and then of course especially on our competitive skills batches. And we actually have already decided that if an organization, whether it's an educational organization or other organization, at least one person in that organization must take this Train the Trainers course. And basically the idea is that anybody who wants to evaluate these batch applications, they need to take the Train the Trainers course. And of course, since we are talking about a batch constellation, the Train the Trainers is also proven with batch applications. And the batch names here are in Finnish because the Train the Trainers is only offered in Finnish at the moment. But basically the content is open batches in general, and then the batch programs, in this case Open Batch Factory and Open Batch Passport. And then the most important part of our Train the Trainers is of course evaluating competitive skills applications and issuing these batches. And we have, if I remember and actually know correctly, we have almost 100 teachers in Finland already who have completed Train the Trainers course and have this last milestone batch, which is this kouluttaja, so trainer batch. And you get that milestone batch when you have taken 3 basic batches, open batches, batch programs, and evaluation batch. And we will be offering this Train to Trainers even after this project ends. So in 2022, we will also offer Train the Trainers. And since this project is now ending, we have decided that the management of this batch constellation will remain in hands of Tieke. And we will maintain and we will also update these badges, of course, together with our network. And then we will share these badges as links to other organizations. And as we share them as links, it's made sure that each organization has exactly the same badges and badge applications. And when we update them, the updates are automatically updated to each training organization or badge provider. And that's the form that we're going to start in the beginning of 2022. So we have quite a big responsibility here at Tieke to maintain and update also these competitive skills badges and applications so that they will serve digital skills and evaluating digital skills in the future as well. This has been a very interesting project with very large expert network, and we are hoping, of course, to have new projects where we can also develop both these badges and create new ones and create new models. So this is not the end of it, as I would like to say. But that's the description of our open badge constellation, and of course I will be happy to answer any questions you might have. And I'll stop sharing, and if you like, you can actually ask, not just write to the chat. So please, if you have